This is a short presentation to discuss the findings we have on the installation and the initial configuration process, um, and some thoughts we have on how to improve them. In the past few days, we have been playing with the installation and configuration process of 3VR appliances, and we have identified 3 issues so far in order of importance. The first item is we found out that users usually need to configure in many places. They need to use different applications, they need to configure in different UIs, in different menus. For example, they need to go through a series of screens upon a startup. They also need to use a short wizard to set the time zone and date of the appliance. And at the very end, they also need to do a lot of configuration in System Manager. And in System Manager alone, they need to configure in the main UI as well as 2 different second level menus. That actually make a lot of ordinary users confused. If we are familiar with them, we are okay, but for some first-time users, this can be very confusing. The second issue we identified was if the user is using a laptop, the setup process is much more complex because they need to connect to the appliance via browser, and they also need to install client software on laptop. We actually thought of a way to make the laptop setup process much simpler. That requires development of a simple agent running on the appliance before the server software is installed on the appliance. We will discuss that a little bit later. The third issue we identified was the installation menu is not very intuitive. It's organized by steps in the installation and configuration process, but not based on user setup scenario. From the user's perspective, they only have one scenario. They either use laptop or they use screen and keyboard mouse directly connected to the appliance. But based on the current flow, they need to, for example, if I'm using a laptop to set up the appliance, I need to go to different sections in different chapters to find out the information I need. We believe that's a little troublesome to users. The solutions are very obvious. The first solution is to create an end-to-end installation wizard that gets the user through the whole process from appliance startup to the very end of the configuration process where the appliance is ready to be used. The second enhancement is basically what I just discussed. We can develop a small program on the appliance that can automatically communicate with the laptop. That will make the laptop installation much easier. The third enhancement is a documentation enhancement. Okay, now we talked about the first enhancement, installation wizard. If you look at the very bottom, ideally we want to make the process as simple as this 4-step process. The appliance will automatically verify that the monitor and the keyboard mouse have been connected to the appliance. Then it will start up the wizard that will get the user throughout the process. The user doesn't have to do anything else other than following the screen prompt. The goal is to create one single wizard to get users from booting the appliance to configuration complete, and the appliance is ready to be used. We will show you a demo a little bit later that will get you through the whole UI. we don't want any search user like look around to see where they should type in or where they should pick or check any item. So no search, no guess, a very intuitive UI, and we want the UI to be to do some automatic error and conflict checking, so there's no um, stupid errors. The second enhancement we want to do is on the laptop installation. Basically, we want to create another separate wizard um, on laptop, which is 99% the same, but at the very beginning it's a little different from the wizard we will um, develop for the appliance running on the appliance, because it will be started at the very end of the client installation process on the laptop, because it's a requirement that the user has to install the client software on the laptop. After the client software is installed, the wizard will be started automatically. Then the wizard will automatically scan for the appliance over the local network. If you look at the flow on the bottom, the second last step is the only step uh, that's different from the wizard running on the appliance. Of course, the client installation software is also different. The third and the last enhancement is the documentation enhancement. We want to break the document into different chunks from the user's perspective. Basically, the user is setting up using laptop. They only need to read one section and the whole section of the documentation and forget about the other sections. So they don't need to flip the documentation back and forth to find the information they need. All they need is in one section, and that will make the documentation um, a little concise and shorter for every user, because the user only has one setup scenario and they only need to read that particular section. Um, and because we have the wizard now, the description should be much shorter now and much more streamlined. Yeah, that's all for the presentation. Thank you very much.